In fact, we have, of course, a lot of stock-specific news that we need to cover. We'll be talking about Lupin. The shares jumped almost 10% yesterday after the US regulator issued an establishment inspection report for its Goa facility, classifying it as voluntary action indicated. What does that mean for the company, and how much of a respite will it be for the stock hereon? We discuss this and more with the Executive Director and Global CFO, Ramesh Swaminathan, who is joining us now. Mr. Swaminathan, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, it has come across as a relief for the company, but tell us more. Establishment inspection report with VAI for the Goa unit. Does this mean the warning letter issued in 2017 on Goa plant has also been lifted?
Yeah, actually spot on this. So the EIR, which actually comes with the VAI, actually means that the warning letter has been lifted. So what it actually means to us is that, so as you would be aware, we have close to about 109 products which are still to be approved by the FDA. About 24 to 25 is actually from this unit. We have not received any approvals for this unit for quite some time now. So we would now, so you'd expect, in fact, a lot more approvals to come through, perhaps over the next few weeks, for this particular unit. As you would know, there has been actually a lag in terms of our top line. So we have not been able to leverage on the pipeline that we have because the approvals are not coming. When this is, so this obviously means, once the approvals coming in from Goa, you could be launching products from out there. It's a very important unit for us. Close to about 24-25% of our US turnover comes from this particular unit, and with more products approvals coming through, that would mean that the salience would only go up.
Okay, all right, Mr. Swaminathan, as you said, 25% approximately of your US sales comes in from this unit. Your US sales number on a quarterly basis has been averaging around $170 million to around $200 million odd. When do you see it break out of this range, quarter 4 or quarter 1 of next year? And if you could give us a rough guidance in terms of how the US sales will shape up on a quarterly basis from here on. Please go ahead.
As you are very much aware, so there are at least 4 facilities in India which have actually had this warning letter, so to speak. Goa is what we spoke about just now, but we also have issues around Mandideep, Pithampur, Unit 2, as well as Tarapur, and of course Somerset itself. So all of this actually meant that the approvals which we expected for the rich pipeline that we have filed was not forthcoming. But with this, so we hope that this is the start of things. We, over the next few weeks, quarters, expect in fact other units also to be kind of inspected, and with that we would expect things to be resolved over the next fiscal. That actually mean that with approvals coming through, we could be able to kind of work on the top line, and that's what is actually ailing the company for some time. As you would know, we have a very rich pipeline, but that apart, we also are focusing on more complex products, in terms of inhalations, the complex injectables, and the biosimilars piece. So we are stacking up for the future. So you already got approval for albuterol, to kind of indicate the kind of progress that we have when it comes to inhalation products. We also introduced Brovana. There are more to come. Spiriva is on the annual. And a host of other things when it comes to inhalations.
Okay. Hi, Ramesh. This is Ekta. I just wanted to dwell a little further on the other facilities which have a warning letter. You did mention, obviously, Somerset, Mandideep, as well as Pithampur Unit 2. What is the timeline of an inspection? Have you heard from the US FDA? When can they come re-inspect the plants? And are you confident of a clearance, considering that there are some common observations that we've seen for Goa as well as Pithampur Unit 2?
As you can very well imagine, we have been working on this for the last 3 to 4 years, so to speak, and a lot of these are under the radar for quite some time now. So, I think, we have been able to kind of work on it, and we are in a state of readiness. We are fully prepared when it comes to India, and we do believe that as and when the authorities do land up in these places, you would see a satisfactory resolution. So, as you said, there is a common thread in terms of what is observed across a lot of these units. And that's exactly what you've been working on, a team out here and with the best of consultants. And our confidence levels is pretty high in this regard.
Specifically on Spiriva generic, can you give us an update on whether you've heard back from the US FDA on your complete response letter? When are we probably expecting an approval? I know you've said that you'll, get into details later, but any more details that you can share?
At this stage, all that I can say is that settlement has been carried through. So to that extent, we are again in a state of preparedness, and we believe that the issues that they raised with us in terms of the CRL has been responded appropriately, and we are remain confident that there would be a launch towards the second half of the next fiscal.
Okay, so a launch in the second half of FY23. So that's what we're estimating for Spiriva. That's important information. But, Ramesh, I had the opportunity to, in fact, go to your National Reference Lab at Navi Mumbai. I saw the entire facility, met with your diagnostic head as well. Give us a sense in terms of what the aspiration for the diagnostic business is. What does it mean for Lupin to be entering a market which has such high amount of competitive intensity at this point in time? The fact that pricing hasn't moved in the past 2 to 3 years, and the fact that you have your core business to actually take care of. I know we've discussed this before, but I want your perspective in terms of where exactly you are headed from a holistic point of view for the diagnostic business, also on a blended margin basis.
Okay, insofar as diagnostics is concerned, I think it's fair to state that it's not going to be the dominant theme for India. Pharmaceuticals and generics is indeed going to be what it is. It's an important part of what of the future for us. So we are thinking big in this direction, but it's not going to be the most important theme. What we really believe is a huge chunk of this market, as you very well said, is fragmented. Less than 20% of it is actually in the organized sector. So there is vast scope insofar as getting into more organized shape out there. Ours, we believe, is going to be a doctor-led scientific proposition. As you very well said, it is going to be quality-led with NABL certification itself. So we are also going to focus on technology responses in terms of reporting and the like. We obviously have, in fact, the connect to the doctors and so on. So I think there is a proposition that we would like to exploit, and that is what actually propelled us into moving in this direction.
Okay. All right, Ramesh, thank you so much for joining us and taking us through whatever this particular EIR means for the company. Thanks for giving that perspective. With that, we'll take a short break now. We'll get you more on markets and stock-specific action on the other side.
Thank you.